News Hour at 9. Co-presented by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group. Co-powered by Jaguar, Amstrad Air Conditioners and JK Tyre.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Is it a coincidence or a pattern when violence and clashes happen on the eve or on the day of festivals? This violent playbook is evident in the last 2 years or so. From Maharashtra to Gujarat to Bihar to Bengal, the Ram Navami celebrations have been marred by violence. The yatras witnessed a trail of destruction, mobs armed with stones and bricks unleashed mayhem. Even today, fresh violence was witnessed in Maharashtra's Sambhajinagar, Gujarat's Vadodara and Bihar's Sasaram. Also, the unrest in Howrah has become the epicenter of political debate. The situation continues to remain tense in parts of Bengal. Fresh stone pelting was reported in Howrah district, and this time, even the media was not spared. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, our colleague Kundan Singh, Times Now Navbharat's reporter, was stopped from reporting in the Shivpur area where stone pelting and arson was seen yesterday. This morning, in the presence of police personnel, once again, people beat him up and vandalized the car he was traveling. They even threatened and roughed up Kundan Singh for doing his job. Kundan Singh and Tamal Saha became the target of mob fury. Take a look.
Law would take its time possibly to get a hold over here because as I've been saying, we're dealing with a situation which is very, very charged up. There is anger out here. Hey, Ek second.
But ladies and gentlemen, apart from this, the political clash is also raging. It's Mamata versus BJP and claim versus claim in the state. The BJP is fuming over Mamata Banerjee's warning to Yatris issued on March 29. Listen in to what she had said.
Ram Navami din ja অস্ত্র পাবো নিয়ে বেরোবো দেখবো কে কি করতে পারে একটা মুসলিম এরিয়ায় গিয়ে হামলা করলে মনে রাখো তার বিরুদ্ধে আইনত পদক্ষেপ নেবে মিছিল মিটিং করার তোমার অধিকার আছে দাঙ্গা করার অধিকার নেই
Many in the BJP believe that this was a statement that instigated the mobs. With the situation tense, Home Minister Amit Shah stepped in and sources tell us that he spoke to Governor C.V. Ananda Bose and also the state BJP President Sukanta Mojumdar to assess the ground situation. The Trinamool Congress, on the other hand, released visuals of saffron-clad men brandishing guns and violent weapons during these processions in Howrah. It asserted that BJP is scheming to unleash riots in the state. The BJP, on the other hand, came out and blamed Mamata Banerjee and said that she was gunning for one religion to secure her vote bank. The BJP has also moved Kolkata High Court seeking a probe by the NIA and CBI into the incidents of violence. Listen in to the war of words.
এই প্রথা তো আমরা কোনোদিন বাংলায় লক্ষ্য করিনি। মমতা বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায় তো 2011 সালে বাংলার মুখ্যমন্ত্রী হয়েছে। 2011 সালে তো এই বিশৃঙ্খলতা, এই গুন্ডামি, মস্তানি, রাহাজানির পরিবেশ হয়নি। 16 তিনটে বিধানসভায় জেতা, আসন পাওয়ার পর, তিনটে বিধায়ক জেতার পর এরা পুরো রাজ্যটাকে নিজেদের পৈতৃক সম্পত্তি ভাবা শুরু করে দিল।
হাওড়ায় এই সমস্যা হলো কেন? ডালখোলাতে বা এই সমস্যা তৈরি করা হলো কেন? এটা তৃণমূল কংগ্রেসের কমপ্লিটলি চক্রান্ত। সাগরদিঘির নির্বাচনে পরাজিত হওয়ার পরে তৃণমূল কংগ্রেসের সভানেত্রী মমতা ব্যানার্জি তিনি আতঙ্কিত ছিলেন যে আমার হাত থেকে সংখ্যালঘু ভোট বেরিয়ে যাচ্ছে। এই ঘটনার জন্য দায়ী মমতা ব্যানার্জি এবং তার দল।
Yesterday's incident was pre-planned, whatever we have come to know. Administration is looking into the matter, but unfortunately, the whole matter was instigated, pre-planned, and done by none other than BJP and their followers and some groups of RSS affiliated groups. They have perpetuated all this violence and they have tried to make dangas, communal disruptions. It is very sad.
अगर उनको पता था ऐसा होगा तो क्यों नहीं रुके? उनको रुकना चाहिए था। हम लोगों को किसी को पता नहीं है, उनको पता है और वो होम मिनिस्टर भी है। अगर ऐसा है तो उनको, अगर उन्होंने खुद मुख्यमंत्री भी है, गृह मंत्री भी है, उसको तो अभी रिजाइन देना चाहिए। हम लोग को जांच होना चाहिए, एनआईए जांच होना चाहिए। ये पूरा विषय में जो हम लोग देखा कि पुलिस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने हिंदुओं को ज्यादा अरेस्ट किया, मुस्लिम लोग अरेस्ट नहीं होता है, और ये क्यों होगा? जिसके ऊपर अटैक होता है उसको अरेस्ट कर रहे हैं।
And that brings me to the legitimate question on the Newshour tonight. Who's responsible for Bengal breakdown? That's the question and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the Newshour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
And joining the debate tonight, GVL Narasimha Rao, National Spokesperson and Member of Parliament of the BJP. Also joining me tonight, Dr. Shantanu Sen, Member of Parliament and National Spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress, who will be with us in just a couple of minutes. Sanjay Jha, suspended leader of the Congress Party, author. Also joining me tonight, Mohammad Adil Hassan of the AIMIM, Youth President and Advocate. But my first question goes to Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, I just want to ask you, as a citizen of India who does not belong to any political party, how do you respond to what you see in Bengal today? The same place targeted last year, the same place targeted this year. Today, my colleague Kundan Singh just goes there and wants to report on the goings on, stands absolutely away from the mob, and there is enough police and rapid action force. He's standing there, as are many other journalists standing there. And a mob just virtually goes towards him, virtually wants to lynch him. He has blood coming out. He's taken, rescued by the police personnel, taken to a police station. Is this the way law and order is maintained? And I'm not even getting into any festival, any religion, any communal comment. I'm only talking about law and order for a journalist to work on the streets of Bengal.
Good evening, Navika. First of all, I'm praying for a very quick recovery of Times Now reporter Kundan. It's absolutely horrendous what happened to him, and I hope he recovers very quickly from his injury. Look, how can I put it? The third partition of Bengal must be prevented at all costs. How long before, Navika, the slogans equivalent to Raliv, Saliv, Galiv are heard in Kolkata like they were in Kashmir 30 years ago? How on earth can a sitting chief minister warn and advise Hindus to not venture in quote-unquote Muslim areas? The last time such phrase was used was back in the 1940s, and we ended up giving away quote-unquote Muslim areas, didn't we? What is happening to this most beautiful of states? But I'm afraid the signs have been ominous for too long. Remember the proud boast of TMC's Fareed Hakim recently, that quote, his area is mini Pakistan. Remember TMC Sheikh Alam, who boasted that 4 Pakistans can be created if 30% Muslims come together? Remember the recent horrible violence in Howrah in response to Nupur Sharma? Remember 2018 Bengal Panchayat elections where 20,076 or 34% of seats went uncontested? Remember 2019 Diamond Harbour violence that led Hindu families to flee? Remember the severe indictment of the Bengal government by the Calcutta High Court regarding post-poll violence? The fact that police did not register FIR in 60% of the cases should have shamed TMC and its Albert Spears. Remember the blood-curdling sworn affidavits of Hindu victims? Remember how the media was scared, the judges were recusing, and those human rights activists and the Roys and the Seetalwads, they had taped their mouths with duct tape. Please understand, all this is the logical conclusion. Mob strength comes from an appeasing and cowardly state. You don't believe me? Let us look at Mamata Didi. Did she say Batla encounter was false? Yes. Did she oppose CAA? Yes. Did she appoint a Muslim on Takeshwar Temple Board? Yes. Did she provide midday meal dining hall for only those schools having 70% or more minority students? Yes. Did she curtail the time duration permitted for Durga idol immersion to make way for Muharram procession? Yes. Did she grant 2.6 crores of taxpayers' money to Furfura Sharif? Yes. Did she promise to give land to imams for construction of houses? Yes. Did she exclusively pay more than 30,000 imams, 2,500 per month, and over 15,000 muezzins, 1,500? Yes. Remember when accused of Muslim appeasement in the face of minority anger, she had famously said, and I quote, "Je goru doodh de tar lathiyo kheti hoy." If a cow gives milk, one has to be prepared for its kicks. But Navika, look at the status of Muslims in Bengal. Just give me 30 seconds. They are poorer than any other community, with population growing twice the rate of Hindus. According to the periodic labor force survey, only 13% Bengali Muslims have regular salaried jobs. Figure for India is 22.1%. 35% Bengali Muslims work as casual laborers. Figures for India is 24%. Muslims in Bengal earn 27 to 40% lower than Muslims in the rest of India. Muslims make up 30% of Bengal population, but only 7% of all university and college teachers in Bengal are Muslims. And if you discount madrasas, the figure is minuscule. The fact is, this is after 40 years of non-BJP rule, after 40 years of rule by those who claim to work for them. Aankhein kholo, save Bengal.
Well, Dr. Sanjay Jha, you were raising your hand. I want to ask you, if this had happened in any other state, the first refrain would have been that the BJP law and order situation is pathetic. Today, where are those voices tonight, Dr. Sanjay Jha? And my question to you is, I don't even want to get into why is a Hindu festival targeted, why, because I don't want to get into that space. Everybody has a right to celebrate Ram Navami as well as do their Ramzan and their Iftari. I'm not somebody who's going to go that route. My question is, if law and order is a state subject, then why was my reporter virtually lynched by a mob today? Why did he have blood dripping from his face when he should actually have just been reporting, doing his job as he set out to do early this morning?
Navika, valid questions, and I do wish him a very speedy recovery, and it's something that we should all be concerned about as citizens of the country, forget our political affiliation. A couple of home truths are necessary here. Number one, the state that I live in, Maharashtra, is witnessing an equally horrific communal conflagration going on in Sambhajinagar, formerly called Aurangabad. Who runs the state? The Bhartiya Janata Party does. As you correctly mentioned in the introduction, it's also happening in Gujarat. So the problem that we have today is, and this is the real fascinating insight we need to have. I remember following politics or being part of politics for years. Ram Navami never saw this kind of heightened communal temperature that we are witnessing since we have had the BJP come to power in 2014. And these are not sporadic anymore. They're almost becoming predictable because we all know that riots in India are usually orchestrated. And one of the people who's written a very famous book on riots is actually a BJP MP called Mr. M.J. Akbar. And if you read his entire story on the book called Riots After Riots, he mentions there that yes, it's a law and order problem for sure, but more critical is who causes these communal riots. And they're usually politically motivated. You are absolutely right, Navika, in saying that this is an issue that needs to be looked at in a bipartisan fashion. However, everything in India is dictated by electoral mathematics. And we all know which political party gains the maximum and logically would gain the maximum by a communal stress. It is the Bhartiya Janata Party. The majority community is the one where you can really play your vote bank. After all, the minority community, whether it's 15, 20 or 30%, can never be as influential as the majority community. And that's where the entire game of social polarization that the BJP does in a ruthless, unethical, and in my opinion, in absolutely repugnant
Dr.
manner,
Sanjay
is something that we need to
Dr.
discuss.
Sanjay Jha, normally I agree with you because you make very logical points. But today, you're virtually preaching when for decades, the Congress has just done the same. Only difference being that they have appeased the minorities to make them their permanent vote bank, and they have actually treated the majority community as virtually non-touchables. Let's just not get into a preachy mode and point fingers at the BJP. Let me get in Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao. GVL Narasimha Rao, Dr. Sanjay Jha puts the blame on you. The opposition ranks put the blame on you. Mamata Banerjee puts the blame on you. Is it really the BJP responsible? Is it somebody in the opposition responsible? And are citizens of India just caught haplessly in the middle?
Good evening to you, Navika, and all the panelists. And I also condemn the attack, the gruesome attack on your journalists, and I wish them speedy recovery. It is very convenient and instructive for the Congress party to be, as you said, in the preachy mode. This pseudo-secular politics, the Congress party is the author of such politics. And appeasing minorities and actually adopting anti-Hindu policies was clothed in what the Congress described as secularism. They have, so Mamata Banerjee has a problem with people raising the chant of Lord Shree Ram. She cannot accept, she thinks that in a secular country, people cannot say Jai Shree Ram. What kind of a mindset is that? And what kind of a mindset is the Congress party, which when the whole world talks of Islamic terror, the Congress party wants some kind of an equivalence. They want to appease minorities by coining phrases like Hindu terror, saffron terror. Was this all not done only with an eye on the Muslim vote bank? It's something that any child in this country knows. And the kind of massive communal conflagrations that have happened during the Congress rule is all there for people to see. The kind of terror incidents that happened, appeasement of terror, appeasement of a community for vote bank politics is one thing, but the Congress party even appeased the terrorists only with an eye on a vote bank. You know what they said when Batla encounter happened? Sonia Gandhi cried for not for the victims, not for the police officer who died in the Sharma, who died in the incident, but she cried, she shed tears for the victims, for the terrorists. This is the nature of the Congress party. They have gone to the extent of saving terrorists just because they are Muslims. In Karnataka, where I am today, the Congress government, Siddaramaiah government, issued a directive saying all those who are in jails, who are Muslims, who are under trials, they should be released immediately. Why should under trials of a particular community only be released? Is that not vote bank politics? Why did Manmohan Singh say the resources of this country should go to the minority community? They should have a first claim on resources. Was that not vote bank politics? Was that not appeasement politics? Congress party is guilty of not only following appeasement politics, it has blood on its hands. Who perpetrated Sikh riots in Delhi? Was it directly not a program orchestrated by the Congress party? And they were indirectly or directly also responsible a number of major communal clashes in this country. And it's very convenient for the Congress party to point fingers at the BJP. Like Amit Shah ji said a couple of days ago, when you point a finger at us, there are 4.4 fingers pointing towards you, and Congress cannot ignore this. And as far as Mamata Banerjee is concerned, look at, she exhibits intolerance even for the chant of Jai Shree Ram. So how do you expect her to allow Hindu processions or Sri Ram Navami processions to go without being challenged? She has certainly provoked people to really attack the Hindu procession. Where was the need for her to make the kind of statements that she made when the state police is there to provide security? and to ensure that nothing untoward happens. What was the need for her to make such statements? What was the need for her to stop Durga idol immersion, which I think people of Bengal will never accept? She actually stopped it because Muharram processions have to go on, Hindu processions must stop. What kind of a policy is this? This is reeks of anti-Hindu mindset, both of Congress and the TMC.
All right, so let me get in Dr. Shantanu Sen. I'll come back to you, Dr. Sanjay Jha. Dr. Shantanu Sen, first question, a journalist is attacked by a mob. On day 2, you know, if it had happened in a BJP-ruled state, Mamata Banerjee would have been the first one to come out and say that they don't know how to control law and order. Dr. Sen, this happened in your state of West Bengal, my state of West Bengal. I was born there. Belongs as much to me as it does to you. Kundan Singh was attacked there for doing the job that he is supposed to be doing. He was attacked by a mob over there. And I don't know on day 2 why such a thing should happen. And it's not, you know, it's even more surprising that the same location had these kind of scenes of violence last year on Ram Navami. They repeat in the same area yesterday and repeat them today. So question number 1, what about law and order? And question number 2, the question that Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao raised is about whether the Chief Minister's statement itself was provocative, because she said, I will allow the procession of Ram Navami, but they should not attack Muslim. I want to know, how did she know from before that there would be an attack, and why did she single out only one community? Why did she not worry about the safety of both communities? I want to ask you that question.
Navika, I think we must be very happy and you must be proud of it that you have born in a state of West Bengal. Before I reply to my previous hyper-enthusiastic, over-energetic participant, I would like to show one video. I would like to show one Twitter of Times Now, which is shocking and terrible, and I think it's a criminal offense. Previously, we have seen that BJP is showing Maha flyover of West Bengal as an asset of Uttar Pradesh before UP election. But now what you have done, you have shown the incident that has taken place in Tiljala as an incident as if it has taken place in Howrah, which seems to be a criminal offense. Navika, I am really surprised that a reputed channel like yours...
I'm sorry, you're making a statement. I haven't seen a response coming from anywhere who has disputed. Since you're disputing it, I will get my social media team to check this video. And if there is a mistake, we have no problems in apologizing for putting out a wrong video. My team is listening to you and they are checking it out. And if it is a mistake, I will apologize for it. Having said that, if there was a problem with it, you could have brought it to anybody's notice. The government could have. And if that, are you saying that is the reason that Kundan Singh was attacked? Are you saying that?
Certainly not, but you cannot bypass it.
No, I'm not bypassing it. You are bypassing the question of a reporter being...
It's something like...
You are bypassing the question of a reporter being targeted. I would have appreciated if you addressed that issue first.
When you are on the chair, you have to be polite and you have to be little bit patient, Navika. You have to have the patience to listen to the participant.
Pardon me if I forget my politeness for just a little bit when I see my colleague, you know, and pictures of him with blood dripping out. Pardon me, politeness somehow takes a back seat. I'm just asking you a question.
That's a separate deal. But Times Now is making such a criminal offense.
Okay.
I am answering your question, but before that I must let you know once again.
You put 13 FIRs against me. Go ahead, put one more against my channel, but answer the question.
Now listen to me. This is the basic tactics and practice of Bhartiya Janata Party. If they do not play this religion card, they are nowhere in the state of West Bengal. Because they are getting outrightly rejected by the common people at large every now and then. which is being evident by the result of each and every election that are taking place in our state of West Bengal. That's why there was an apprehension, because there is a tendency of hate mongering, there is a tendency of riot mongering, and BJP believes in it. I want to remind you, on 13th of September 2022, in the name of political program, they have vandalized and they have assaulted ACP rank officer. They have set police vehicle on fire. This is their basic tendency. That's why Madam Mamata Banerjee said categorically, it is the state of Bengal where each and every religion can perform their festivals. But you tell me why the permitted route was not followed by the participants. You tell me at the same time why in the state of Delhi at Jahangirpur, avoiding the decisions given by the Delhi police, which comes under Mr. Amit Shah, those hooligans did hooliganism.
Navika.
What has happened in Gujarat yesterday? What has happened in Madhya Pradesh yesterday?
No, stop
Okay,
nonsense.
so everything,
Stop nonsense. I think you are
everything
the
is
hooligan.
justified
Stop
because
nonsense.
those are BJP ruled states, and you will not respond on anything that happens in Bengal. So first, GVL Narasimha Rao respond to Dr. Shantanu Sen.
Navika.
Madam Mamata Banerjee has categorically said that
people of
steps will be taken.
People of Bengal know. People of Bengal know that TMC's only claim to fame is hooliganism, gundagardi. You have killed hundreds of our karyakartas. You have indulged in all kinds of attacks on our people. Your people. That's why you are winning. Yes, you are winning only because of that. You've been winning only because of that. And the day will come very soon when people will throw you into Bay of Bengal. A day will come very soon when TMC will be thrown into Bay of Bengal.
What is the exact number of MLA? Can you tell
No, why did you withdraw you have indulged in this because you lost a by-election.
You tell me. Why you have
lost a by-election, that's what scares
Why
you.
you have failed to bring peace in Kashmir?
Navika, they have just lost a by-election.
I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on. Look at the party of Bengal, talking about Kashmir, talking about Maharashtra, talking about Gujarat, but not talking about West Bengal. Dr. Shantanu Sen, I'm asking you about...
Are they out of the country? Are they outside country? Are they outside country?
Dr. Anand Ranganathan,
BJP is
what do you make of this? What do you make of this?
Outside country.
We cannot ask questions on West Bengal, but democracy is alive there. Democracy is dead in the rest of the country. Dr. Anand Ranganathan.
Navika, I gave 19 facts within 3 minutes, and most of them were relating to Bengal, starting from the 2018 Panchayat polls in Bengal, where 20,000 seats went uncontested. Not a single rebuttal to any of my facts, but the whole discussion has been deviated.
And what was
Doctor,
it,
please, did I, this whataboutery, please, Dr. Sen, I respect you. You are a COVID warrior. It is unbecoming of you to interrupt. Did I interrupt you, sir? I didn't. I'm speaking only of facts. And tonight my heart bleeds for the Times Now reporter, and I wish every one of our hearts, each one of our panelists, our hearts bled for what has happened to the Times Now reporter. On the other side, you are muddling the issue by bringing in some alleged fake news. You must remember that right now, your spokesperson has been arrested, is under arrest for spreading fake news. Your leader, Derek O'Brien, spread fake news to such an extent that CPIM decided to sue him. So please, let us not muddle the waters. That fake news is a completely different matter. Out here, what has happened,
he was arrested by BJP police. Thrice in a month. He was arrested undemocratically by BJP police thrice in a month. The person you are talking about.
Dr. Sen, please.
Now, complete your point, Anand Ranganathan. Complete your point, Anand Ranganathan. What is the point that you are making, Dr. Anand Ranganathan?
The point I'm making is very simple. Violence happens. It is party agnostic. It is religion agnostic. It is ideology agnostic. It is unbecoming of party people and spokesperson to be doing whataboutery rather than condemning the violence that has happened. What is happening in Bengal is absolutely tragic. And finally, just 10 seconds, Navika, Sanjay Jha is quite right when he talks about the violence that has erupted in Maharashtra by saying that it is under BJP. But he conveniently forgets that in the same city that was called Aurangabad, now it's called by a different name. During the MVA, when Congress was in power, somebody posted a Facebook post saying that Aurangzeb was a mass murderer. It led to mass riots there. Policemen were injured. That was under Congress. There was not a single rebuke or condemnation of that violence. So please, let us not talk about what happened in the past. Let us concentrate on what is happening right now. Let us tackle the situation.
Sanjay Jha, respond. And normally one expects you to take a logical position, a position people can understand, because you are suspended politician. At least when you are suspended, you should make sense to people who hear you.
Navika, I will skip the rhetoric and the hyperbole. I think my friend is doing a wonderful job on the other side. I'm referring to Anand. But let's look at the hard data point. The Ministry of Home Affairs has already submitted to Parliament, and I'm talking about just a 4-year period. Guess how many communal riots were registered in India? 3,600. Communal riots. Now you can talk about the scale, etc., but that tells you of the disturbing situation that we face in our country, number one. Number two, very, very important. Yesterday, because a lot of these violence happens because of hate speeches, right? Because they are meant to deliberately provoke. Yesterday, the Supreme Court had to tell the government of Mr. Modi that you are impotent. I mean, have you ever heard these words from the Supreme Court of any country on any executive in the world? It's a moment of monumental and mammoth shame. Point number three, you know, the 3 biggest riots that come to my mind have all been engineered with BJP engagement. And this is the tragedy of our time. Gujarat riots 2002, Muzaffarnagar riots that happened in 2013, and the riots in Delhi in 2020. Let's look at Delhi riots in 2020. We know who was the person. Yeah, 1 minute. I'm talking about the last 3 riots I'm referring to at the moment. And by the way, Anand, I have been publicly saying it, and I say it again on your show. And Navika, I think you have heard it from me before. 1984 was a terrible tragedy. It's one of the lowest moments of India's politics. Anand, I want you and GVL Rao to say that about 2002 riots before this program is over. But anyway, my larger point here is this, which is that the BJP gains by communal hate. And I think this is something that the people of India know. And ultimately, we can debate it here till the cows come home. But the people of India and civil society will have to understand the risk of a government.
So why is Bengal giving the BJP an opportunity to gain is my question. The law and order is with Mamata Banerjee. Why GVL Narasimha Rao? Is she not acting strongly on the BJP? Is that you know, an explanation that explains the violence in Bengal today?
No, actually, she's taking a very she's been adopting a very vengeful attitude towards the BJP. But possibly the loss of by-election a few weeks ago, that Sagar Giri or some constituency in Bengal has actually made her realize that she needs to have competitive appeasement politics with the Congress and the left parties. I think this incident, this violence is possibly, I'm saying possibly, is orchestrated by the TMC and their supporters.
Well,
because
on both
this
sides,
is how she wants
each
to
side
consolidate
blames the other
vote bank.
for having somehow orchestrated the violence. At the end of it, people of India, people of Bengal have no answers. And for journalists who are doing their job, well, just be prepared. Stone pelting can be part of your job. You could be bleeding and still expected to work and still hear sermons from every politician saying that this country has secular and democratic principles, at least in opposition ruled states. Well, we leave it at that. I hope Kundan is safe, and I know he's back on his way back home. We're all worried about him. I hope the state in which this happened would also worry about why this happens to journalists. We leave it at that. Thank you very much to my panelists for joining me on debate number